we're learning a lot. I liked what I saw from the defense today, really playing fast and really being aggressive. Offense, still learning more assignments and trying to coordinate it where every single guy's got to do it right. So offense struggled a little bit. Now they finished pretty good at the end. They had made some really nice plays in the teamwork part, but when it came to blitz and blitz pickup, it was a little scary. I'm glad we weren't allowed to hit the quarterback today. Could have been bad, but and that's people think that's offensive line. It's offensive line, backs, tight ends, even quarterbacks. Got to get us in the right protection or throw hot or whatever it is. So it's a little bit of everybody just learning what to do.
You don't let people hit the quarterback in practice, do you?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad that's our rule, that you don't hit the QB, and we never hit the QB even in live situations.
We're getting some running backs today, and I was just wondering, do you have a philosophy on running backs? I know Gus Edwards was supposed to be the guy last year before he got hurt, and then of course what happened with Year being.
Well, I mean I've had backs. Then I had work done we did at Florida State. When I had work done, he was maybe 182 pounds, maybe. But he's very electric, very fast, could run routes out of the backfield, but he had some toughness to run between the tackles. And, I've had big giant backs. I mean, Curly's about as big as they come, and Chubb's a big, strong back, and Sonny Michel was somewhere in between type guys. But, you look at Yearby and Walton and Gus, and I mean, they're all a little bit different in their stature, but they all have got some great skills, and they all have some toughness about them. And so, I like what I see.
First day in pads, was there anyone who sort of stood out to you just right off the bat?
It's hard to say. It was such a blur. There's so many. When we're repping 3 units on both sides of the ball, and it's pretty. It wasn't as quick a tempo as it has been the first 2 days. I'll say that. I think whether it was the pads being on or whatever it was, we offensively mostly were not getting to the line as quick, getting the play called as quick, getting the ball snapped as quickly as I would like to see. But it's so hard to say. I'd have to look at the tape and tell you later.
Mark, you've talked so much about, especially on defense, about playing fast and things like that. How would you assess the overall maybe team speed that you guys have?
We got team speed, or at least it looked like it today. I mean, they were really penetrating, doing a good job of getting after the quarterback on the pass rush, and guys just breaking on the ball and using their speed. Had 2 or 3 picks today on guys just really doing a good job of, like I said, breaking on the ball and using their quickness and speed and ball skills. I mean, it's one thing for a guy to get there and then he can't catch it. That doesn't do you any good, but these guys caught the ball, which was nice to see. And but overall, I'd say we got pretty good team speed and quickness on defense.
Coach, what's the philosophy and the mentality that you're trying to instill into these kids that you want them to have going into week 1?
Well, just play hard, Don't know what to do. Know how to do it well, and play really hard every down, and play together. Know that bad things will happen. That's what I was talking to him afterwards. We actually got a little conditioning after practice today. We didn't run to the hoop as fast as we should as a team, and so we went and got the conditioning afterwards. And I just reiterated to them that the goal is to do it in practice. Let's practice with tempo. Let's finish every drive with the sprint to the hoop, and just do it right and do it together. We talked about adversity. We're running some sprints at the end, and if a guy didn't do it just perfect, then the whole team's got to do one more. We're supposed to run 8, and I think we probably ran. We might have run 16, might have run 14, something like that, because this guy didn't have his hand behind the line, or this guy didn't finish, or this guy didn't break down when we asked the team to break down, or one guy had his hands on his knees, and we tell him not to do that in certain stances around here. So. We got it right, and coaches are being demanding, and the players, they're responding. But they're tired. It's hot, but that's when you got to play. That's when you got to play well, when you're tired and hot.
Coach, you're a person who seems to believe in accountability. How do you determine whether to dismiss someone from the team, and what goes into that decision making?
Yeah,
How tough is it?
That's tough. That's the toughest thing to do, because I love all these guys, and I want them all to be here and make it. And, but if they're doing some things that certainly is dangerous to the team, dangerous to other people, and I'm not saying just if there's a one-time episode of something, he's going to be gone, you know, but, you know, sometimes there's some history that is involved in that. Maybe that it's the third or fourth thing that we're trying to teach, we're trying to, you know, get him in the right direction. He just doesn't, he won't get it, you know. And sometimes at that point, I got to make that decision. But, you know, we all need to represent this university the right way in a first-class manner. And I know that's what our president expects. I know that's what, you know, Blake James expects, and that's what I expect too. And I think, you know, the guys do too. Even the guys that make the mistakes, they know. They're crushed, they're hurt. You know, they just, they know they blew it. And I mean, they're just a bad human being. It means they made a really foolish mistake that cost them. And now, you know, what's going to determine success in the future is what he does from this point forward.
Can you use it as a learning experience for the kids?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a learning experience for the guy who's going through it, but if anybody's paying attention, it needs to be a learning, you know, experience for them. I mean, my number one son would usually be the one that had to get reprimanded here and there, and then my number two son would watch what happened to number one, and number two, he learned from watching it. Now my number 3 and 4 kids, they didn't pay close attention. They had to learn it all over by themselves, you know. So some actually can learn by watching and saying, man, I don't want that to happen to me. But some guys just flat out, you got to experience it, I guess.
Last question, guys.
Could that kind of set the tone, you think, just the fact that a decision like that?
Well, I'm not trying to set the tone. I'm just trying to run this program in a way that everybody will be proud and try to help young men grow. And if they can learn from their mistakes while they're here and make it great, but if they have to be dismissed to learn from it and they end up becoming a better man for it, I'm happy there too. I mean, it's just like, you know, even the situation right now. I mean, our goal is to help, you know, help this kid in the future. That's what it's all about.
All right, thank you, everyone.